Hey everybody, my name is Levi King, and I am a music producer right here, gospel music, Christian music producer right here in the Cahokia, Illinois area. I'm in the Me Too Music Studio in Cahokia, Illinois, which is the St. Louis, Missouri area, like 7 minutes from St. Louis, Missouri, downtown St. Louis, the Arch. And yes, today I am here with a Casio. Yes, it is. It's a Casio, the Casio PX5S. And you know, this thing is pretty amazing. I have to first let you know that I'm not necessarily a novice and that I'm not just a person who just heard this piano, haven't played any others and fell in love with it. That's not the case. This morning I counted before doing this video, and haven't counted in a while how many I have, but I actually own right at about 43 keyboards, digital pianos, all professional keyboards. Have everything. I got like Yamaha S90ES. I got a couple of Yamaha Mo 8s, got a couple of Yamaha Mo 6s, and all of the rolling stuff. Got RD700. I got some S80s. I got an S80, Yamaha S30. I said some rolling stuff like XP30s. Got the XP series line. Have had the Phantom line. Everything. Got everything. So. I'm saying all that to say I like good keyboards, and I like, I love especially when I get great function out of a keyboard, and I have found that in the PX5S. Sounds are incredible, but I think what makes it more incredible and unbelievable for a Casio is the editing capabilities. I can straight edit. I can take a sound, any sound I like. For instance, I'm just gonna dig right in. For instance, let me just start with a piano. It's called the Grand Piano Modern. I'll just dig right in. Anyway, I like it. I love the action. Heavyweight, the keys are weighted really nicely. Great, actually. Heavier than most. It feels more like my RD. Just a tad bit heavier action than my Yamaha S90ES. Just a smidget. And one thing you ought to know is I'm running it just to record it. I'm running it through my Pro Tools setup back here, but absolutely no effects. I have no compression on it, no EQs, nothing. It's running flat right now. I took a few notes just so I wouldn't leave out anything. One thing I want you to understand, I'm not saying that this board is better than the Motifs or the S series or the Montage or the Chromes or the Chronoses or the Phantoms or the RD series. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, for the price and for what it does, it is so straightforward, and for the price, it is outstanding. It's unbelievable. It's like one of the most unbelievable buys. It has to be, I've been telling people, it has to be probably, for the money, the best keyboard I've ever purchased. Ever. And I already told you what I own. And that's not dogging, I own Yamaha stuff. Got Mo's and Motifs over here to my left, and I own this stuff. But for the money and for the function, the functionality of it, did I make up a word? I absolutely love it. I use this. I took out a Yamaha Mo 8 out of my sanctuary at church. It's on the side of my organ. I play organ, piano kind of simultaneously. And I took my Yamaha Mo 8 out, put it in another room at the church, and replaced it with this. This is my main piano in my church. And one reason I love it, first of all, one great thing about it is it has 6 faders here. It's a little deceiving. You see 6 faders, 6 physical faders. You see 4 knobs on the top, but you can actually only stack 4 sounds. You get 4 zones on this digital piano, on this keyboard. So even though you see 6 faders, you have what's called, it has a built-in, it's called a hex synth, hex layer synth. But on here, that's, the other 2 you can stack sound effects, things like that, and really manipulate the sound. But you can use 4 zones in performance mode. In a hex layer synth, I believe you can use 6 parts. I'm not absolutely sure, but I know most of the time you go to the other faders and they have like a chorus on one of the faders, delay, things like that. I'm gonna dig in and show you that in a minute. But I love this, 4 zones. Now I got to tell you something. You got the montage, which is a ridiculous price. All the Motif ES stuff, ridiculous prices. You can buy a Mo 8. I notice a lot of churches have gone back. A lot of gospel musicians are going back and purchasing the Yamaha Mo 8, probably because it still has the faders, the 4 faders. Not probably because, that's definitely why. When Yamaha came out with that Mo X series, everybody jumped on it simply because it's new. That's what a lot of people do. They're into fads, and if such and such has something and just new stuff, then you want to buy it. But then people were disappointed. I mean, literally everybody in our church circle, in our music world, in the production world, was disappointed live because the Mo X series that came out took away. They stripped you of all the faders. So I know a lot of people, all of a sudden, if you started to check like Guitar Center Used, eBay, you would notice when the Mo X series first came out, all of the original silver Mo 8s came up for sale, the gray ones, silver ones, whatever color. But then all of a sudden, after some months, you started seeing those Mo X's going pretty cheap. $7.99, $8.99, and the Mo 8s prices went up because people wanted them back. They realized they didn't change much in them. It really just changed the color. As a matter of fact, they took away more than they added. They took away the faders. They took away the ability to use the faders. They didn't change the polyphony. The polyphony on the Mo 8s is 64 notes. So for all you keyboard players, you understand what I'm saying. When it's time to stack those sounds, like here, I got a piano string. Just 2 sounds. But notice, it didn't cut off. On my Mo 8, I love my Mo 8. I love the sounds on my Mo 8, but it's 64 note polyphony. And some of those sounds in Yamaha, they use a couple of different parts to make one piano. So you just doubled your polyphony there. And then if they use 2 parts to make a string, now you got your polyphony. Even though you think you're hitting 1 note, you're technically hitting 4 notes at the same time. So that 64 notes goes away pretty fast on some of these sounds. But here, and let's talk about the ES. I own a Yamaha S90 ES. Well, they have the polyphony doubled in that, so it's 128 note polyphony. Same thing with the montage. You pay $4,000 for an 88 key montage, 3,000 something, and the polyphony is 128. That's cool and all, but you're talking about stacking all of these sounds and all of that. The Casio PX5S has 256 note polyphony. That's why I can do something like this. The note still didn't cut off. I literally played an impossible chord. Who would ever play something and hold a sustain that long? And it still didn't cut off. I love it. And that's stacked with 2 sounds. Let me get off into a couple of sounds. Show you some of the sounds that I like. Well, before I say that, let me say this. Now, you really can't compare. I'm a realist, so I'm not gonna fleece you or whatever. I love to be honest. And you really cannot compare from a workstation production side. You can't compare the montages and the chromes and even the Mo 8 for that. You can't really compare it to this because this is really geared towards live performance. Don't get it twisted. It has a lot of stuff. You can use it in the studio, absolutely, because the sounds are wonderful. But as far as production is concerned, it's a pretty straightforward piano. It's great for live. I mean, absolutely great for live. One thing about my Yamaha keyboards is in like a worship setting or in a high praise setting in church, Like I'll play like one of my favorite sounds, piano and pad. So over here I have my pad. Got my piano on one. I got an EP on two, fader. That warm pad that we like. And I can add strings. Still not cutting off. I can switch it, go to just the EP. Turn the grand piano off, pull the strings down. You don't hear any cutting out. I love this piano. So you notice no cutting, nothing is cutting off. So it's a straightforward piano, great for worship. Another thing I love, I can change my sound. Now you heard a little jump, but the piano sound continued to sustain. On my Yamahas, when I change the sound, it'll cut straight off. But with this, when I'm playing live, I can change sounds, and you see the sound keeps playing. I love it. So these are all of my sounds that I edited, put together my own layers. Now, with the Yamaha, when you turn on the Yamaha boards, you're in voice mode, you know, if that's how you set it up, but the Yamaha has the performance mode. All of us church musicians know we go into performance mode. That's how we're able to control our faders and everything. Well, the Casio, when you turn it on, it's automatically in what they call stage mode, stage settings. That's where you get to control your first 4 faders and whatever you have your second 2 faders set as. It could be a delay, it could be reverb, it could be rotary. It could be whatever. I mean, you can set the sounds on that end. It doesn't even matter. You still have 4 knobs. Now, that's something else that I love about it. It has onboard EQ. Let me go back to my piano sound, turn my strings off. Now, this is flat. This is flat. But you have these 4 knobs. The first one is your lows. You can cut it, take it out if you like a thinner piano. Add lows to it. Take some of the low mid out. Boost some high end if you like more attack. I like to boost just a notch low and a notch high. Boost the high end on it, but I'm putting it back flat. I love this board. Take some low out. You get a pitch bend wheel, modulation wheel. Love this board. So I'm gonna get into it some more. I'm kind of rambling. This is gonna be a long video. I already know it because it's just too much about this board. Let me set my EQ back flat. I'm still flat. Now, preview just a few sounds here. EP sound with a string. basic EP and string. For all you, we do our praise breaks, and we love to have a good piano with a synth. This is one of my stacks. I stacked 2 synths. I stacked. Let me take the more gritty one out, give you the smooth one. This is the smooth one. Now, what I love about it, of course you can do it with all keyboards, but with this one it's so easy to do. I set it up where my modulation wheel does not affect my zone 1, which is piano, my zone 2, which is my EP. It only affects zone 3 and zone 4, which are both of my synths. So listen. Piano stays straight. And I like to add the little gritty one in there too. Just pray that. But I love it. I can bring in my electric piano, take my grand out, that easy. I can put the grand and electric in together. I love his keyboard. And anything you hear, this is what I really love about it. Any sound that you hear that I'm using, you can go in and tweak it. You can change the synth, you can change the attack, change how high it is, change the octave of it, change the brightness of it, change, so many things about the sound itself. I love it. Of course, I already played my piano pad. This is, what we do in our kind of worship setting. This one I created with a piano and bell. I can take the bell out. Put the bell right back in. I had to go in because the bell straight out the box. That's the one thing about this board. Straight out of the box, it's still a good board, but because you can edit so much, you can make it yours. Create your own sounds. I'll come back to that sound and talk about one thing because I'm gonna talk about a few things I don't like about it. But overall, this board gets a 9.5 from me. A 9. I say a 9.4. This is one of my favorite sounds too, Pianoscape. You can download this sound off their website, but you're able to tweak it. So I tweaked it to my liking. I love it. We go through some of the Rhodes. So the Rhodes, straight out of the box, the EPs and the Rhodes and everything in this leaves a little bit to be desired. But you can go online. That's one of the things I love about it. I'm gonna get into that too. But you can go online, download other Rhodes that everybody else has created or Casio themselves have created, and you can tweak it. I tweaked this one. This one is called New Rhodes. I like this one. It's not one of my favorites, but I like it. Of course, you can add the tremolo. Just real smooth. Just real smooth. We get to another one. So this one here, this is the Herbie Rhodes. I got this one offline as well. It's a couple of little things in it that I really, it's like a phaser, like a phaser, maybe flange type sound that I'm gonna get out. But other than that, I like it. I tweaked it a little bit. One thing I like, I can increase the bell on it. I think that's this one. Let me see. Make it more belly. Yep, I like that one. And this is that Steve Weinhardt Rhodes. This is a good one. I like this one. And you can, like I added the string on this one myself. I actually added the string on all my Rhodes. And I put them all on layer 2. I got the modulation wheel up. So I like that. A couple more sounds. I'm just changing the bank. I can go bank, 0, enter. I was in 0 bank. You have 9 banks. Well, technically it's 10 because they count 0. So now I'm at bank 1, hit enter. And let me see a sound. Illuminated, this is one. This is another one that came from Casio site. Messing with the faders. Got the bells here. The after note. Let's see. With the pad. Really nice, clean sounds. I like this one. This is one of my ones that I've created here because some songs we do, I like to start it like with an acoustic guitar sound. So, and I like to add my piano, incorporate the piano. With the little guitar underneath. Like that one. Kate string. This one I just downloaded off the internet. Big strings. Big strings there. I love this one. This is the clav wah. So most of us know on keyboards we get that wah pedal, that wah sound rather, wah clav, but it's most of the time it's automatic. So just depending on how you play it, this one here works off of the sustain pedal. So. Good sound. I'm gonna go through a couple more sounds just to show you some of the ones I like, and then I'm gonna discuss some of the things I don't like, because there are a few things that I don't like about the board. Just a few things. This one here, let me see, what do we have? So 2.8 PX Dancer. Really fat sounds, and you can control everything. And you can set it up and change the control if you don't really care for how it controls it. Modern piano, I like this one. Now, for those of you all who are Roland fans, especially from the 90s, then you recognize that sound. That comes from the famous RD, the old RDs, and also the Roland MKS20 that everybody started going after again. So they put the two digital pianos in here, Piano 1, EP1, and EP2, both of them in here. With the chorus control somewhere. Where's the chorus? Right here. Took the chorus out. Put it back in. That's that Roland MKS20. Let's see what else do we have. 3.7. Just epic hex synth. Big sound. 3.8, what is that? Wonderland. A lot of sweeping stuff that you can put over the piano. A lot of sweet stuff. Let me see, Bank 4. Crunchy EP. You can hear it has an amplifier simulator in it, so listen to the crunchiness of it. Sounds like it's coming through an amp. Tremolo, whatever you call it. A little thin for me, but I mean, you know, it's just a nice little effect. Bank 5. Modern keys. I like this one a little bit. And don't forget, all of your faders affect everything. 5.3, what is that? Super PX. That's sweet. 5.5. Oh, this is one of the sounds they use on all of the demos online. Symphony orchestra with the timpani on it. Real big sound. I got just a few more here. What else do we have? Bank 6, 7 Cosmos Waves. I'm gonna eventually put a piano under this one. Yeah, and that's what I love. You can just do whatever you want to do. Anything you can think of with this board. Dolce Grand, I like this one too. I don't know this. Just real soft, sweet piano. I like that one for just real sweet, you know, maybe talk music in church. 7.6. That's the thing. It has a drawbar organ. You can set it up how you want. This is just the one I found. I didn't set this up. Let me see. So it works same way. I can pull the drawbars out. This is a 5 drawbar organ. So let me push them all up. Start with the first one. Now, what I learned about this one is that the sustain pedal controls your tremolo switch. I mean, it's not the best, but it'll get the job done if you're out. There's no organ there. I mean, it does the job. Polysynth, I like this one too. I'm gonna stack a piano onto this one. I like that one. I think I got about 2, 3 more. Oh, one more actually that I found in here. No, it wasn't that one. Layer piano. Oh, tremolo is on. Just a regular layer piano. Just real basic. Okay, so with that being said, I took a couple notes. Man, this is a long video, I know, but just wanted to talk about a few things that I like, that I don't like rather. So I took a couple notes, talk about a few things I like. I love, of course, the weight. You know, the action of it is real cool. It has little, the keys are not just regular, like plastic, like type keys. So, has like a little finish to it. Almost like a real grand piano. Has some texture to the keys when you really look at it. It has an aux in, an audio in, so you can plug, like I remember when I first got it, I spent like 3 days editing sounds, learning how to use it. Went on YouTube, so I had my little phone adapter thing here, had it hooked up to my stand, and I put my phone here, just kind of put it in front of me sideways, was watching YouTube, plugged my aux in, plugged it into the keyboard, had my headphones on so I could play piano and hear my instructions. So I love that. But on top of that, it also has a 1/4 inch left in and right, a stereo input. So that's crazy. So just imagine you're out gigging, you got maybe a drum machine, maybe you have your tracks over here, a drum machine here, maybe you have a second keyboard. You can actually plug it up in here instead of taking, a little auxiliary mixer with you. And you can have everything self-contained right here. Don't have to worry about the sound man, saying turn this up, turn that. You can just control everything from there. So that I love. The weight of it actually is unreal. Like I can lift this like this. I'm right-handed, but I'm gonna hold it with my left hand. That's how light it is. It's probably like, I forget, I should have gotten the specs, but I believe it's like between 24, 26, 27 pounds, something like that. When I went to pick it up today from my church, I went and picked it up to bring it here to my studio to do this video, and I carried it in my left hand, carried the pedal and the power cable in my right hand, just walked straight out the church with it. So it's real light. I love that about it. Of course, I love the wah pedal feature. I love the idea of being able to have a drawbar organ, which I'm not sure that I would use it necessarily. Maybe just if I'm out because I'm carrying it. That's what's great about it. It's light, I can carry it somewhere, and maybe I need to play an organ. But there's a downside to that. Why put a drawbar organ Casio on this piano and not give us an expression pedal? So I have not gone in. Something tells me, a friend of mine told me you can't do it who owns one, but I'm going to try it for myself, because if I can program a fader to be an expression, then I believe I can go in and plug an expression pedal in pedal 2, because it gives you 2 pedal inputs. I believe I can plug an expression pedal in and assign that to do expression. So I'm gonna check that out. So I'm gonna have to get back to you all and update you on that. One thing I absolutely love, this is crazy. So like I've owned Akai MPCs like almost all my professional years as a producer. And the one good thing about it is you go to a friend's, he has an Akai MPC, and you can take his sounds if you have the same one. You can take his sounds, or if he likes your sounds, he can load your sounds up and then save them to his disk or to his zip drive or to whatever, his compact flash card. Well, on here you have a USB flash drive input. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 6 of my buddies who own this keyboard. I talked them into buying this same keyboard. And after I set mine up, because straight out of the box, the faders and everything don't work like you want it to. Well, after I set mine up, all I did was save it to the flash drive, put it in there. It's literally in a matter of 2.5 minutes. They have my entire stage setting, all my stacks, my sounds. And if there's anything they don't like, they go and tweak it, save it themselves. So the flash drive feature, that's sick. That's crazy. Which also, you can go on Casio's forum. They have their little support forum. You just go and join for free, and you'll see official Casio created from Mike Martin. You'll see stuff that he created. You'll also see user created content. So you can go in there and hear a demo a string that somebody else created, or an EP, and download it. Last night I downloaded probably about 10 or 12 new sounds that I haven't put in yet, because somebody put their version of like a Yamaha DX, kind of like FM piano. So I want to check that out. What else do I like? The swapping of sounds, of course, Casio forms, the drawbar organ stage settings, and the onboard physical EQ. Definitely, I definitely like the onboard physical EQ. The fact that I don't have to worry about the sound man asking him, give me some more highs, give me some more lows. I can do everything myself. Now, of course, the motifs and all of those do that. The thing like about my Mo 8 and my ES, you get to go on and do it. Even my other S series stuff, you could change it, but then when you change the sound, it doesn't hold. You have to go back and change that EQ again. On here, when you change the sound, whatever you change the EQ to, it keeps it across the sounds. Now, with all of my likes, everything I like about it, I have to talk about a few things that I don't like. One thing that I don't like straight out of the box, and I'm still looking for it and I'm editing, is I love to have a bow, like a cello or violin section type sound that's rich. And I love to have that under under a piano or something. And straight out of the box, you don't get it. As a matter of fact, even editing, I've gotten better, I've gotten closer, but it still does not match my Yamaha S90 ES bow or my Mo 8 bow for that. This is the one I came up with. It's all right. But it's not what I'm looking for. So I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on the update, Casio. I need somebody, please. I'm working on it myself. Got to have a little more tremolo, a little more vibrato to it, all of that. You cannot swap sounds with the new. The one that came out that kind of replaced this one is the Casio PX560. Well, with the 560, you cannot swap the sound. So if somebody has a 560, I can't take my flash drive and swap on that one, just between PX5S users. But with the 560, so a lot of my friends ask, well, why not get the newer version? So many people are on this new stuff, whatever comes out new, that's what they want. People like to keep up with the Joneses. That's why most people go out and buy Yamaha motifs and ESs and the S version, S series, S90s, ES and all of that, even montages, because they know that's the new stuff. Chronoses, I would never in a million years spend that kind of money on a montage or a Chronos. And basically I'm using probably 6 sounds total. So it doesn't really make sense for me to spend that kind of money. I'm basically using, most of us go through 2 pianos, a couple of electric pianos, maybe 2 strings and a couple synths over it. We're not using this for the Moogs and all of the auxiliary type stuff. We're using it just to stack our sounds, get some nice bells, some nice synths underneath. But to spend $4,000 for that, to me doesn't make a lot of sense. To spend $2,000 for that doesn't make a lot of sense. That's why I love this. Brand new, these cost $9.99. Roughly. I got mine and all my 5 friends. I got mine, I think, for $500 even. The friend of mine who got his the cheapest, I think it was Pastor Mike Lampion. He got his for $490. I believe he's the one that got his cheaper out of all of us. But for this price, $500, and you get all of these features, the ability to be able to control and stack sounds very fast, and at the exact same time, it doesn't cut off because it doubles the polyphony of a montage, a $4,000 keyboard. I love that. Now, the LCD screen leaves a little bit in the beginning to be desired, and it's a little confusing. I'm gonna tell you what's confusing about it. On the LCD screen, at the top, you'll always see a sound. So like if you loaded it up, it may say, for instance, grand piano. And this one doesn't say it because I've already kind of, changed all of mine. So it may say grand piano, but you'll hear all of these stacked sounds. Well, the truth is you have to look at the sound that's on the bottom. So the sound on the bottom is what you change, and I have mine set to grand piano modern. One thing I like about when I set my sounds, for instance, this piano pad, when I edit my own sounds, mine says piano EP string pad. That lets me know the order, so I don't have to guess on my faders, on my sliders over here. It lets me know the order. So piano is 1, EP is 2, string is 3, pad is 4. So when I'm playing live, it's right in front of me. I know what it is. Oh, I want to turn the EP up. It's on 2 because it's the second one in order. So I love that about it. But like I said, the screen, but you get used to it. You really get used to it because who needs all of that other stuff? Now, that's the other thing. On the Casio PS560, the new one, that's another reason I didn't go get that one. Because on that one, they took away the physical faders and added the huge LED screen. People jumped on it because they had the huge screen. But everybody knows, for us live performance players, especially us churchy players, we like to feel that. We like to have that physical fader to get it just right instead of sliding it on a screen. It kind of jumps. You don't really get that feel just right. The LED screen is nice. That's a nice touch. But I'll take the faders over the big screen any day, and I can live with this little screen because I have my sound set and saved at the top, so I know what I'm playing at all times. Another thing that I probably don't care for, I already talked about the expression pedal, the lack thereof. Lastly, the user manual lacks a lot, honestly. So hopefully Casio works on that, but that's why we have to do these videos too, because the user manual lacks. I remember when I first got it, I was really trying to figure out how do I set up the faders. I saw other people set it up with the sounds, but you can't find it in the instruction book, actually, the instruction manual. So then I went to Piano Man Chuck on YouTube, And he showed us how to do it. The only problem with Piano Man Chuck's version is that the MIDI note, I think he gave us C11, C111, I forget what it was he gave us, to control the volume is actually like expression or something else. So when you change your sound and change back, it won't save. Even if you save it, it will not save your volume settings. You have to go in and I think find maybe C7, I believe, which is volume. Then when you save it, then every time you switch sounds, you have the exact same sounds. It saves all your settings from sound to sound. That was the only thing about Piano Man Chuck's, but I watch his videos a lot and get a lot of reviews. I watched his videos as I was able to preview all of the sounds. So if you want to hear the sounds, check him out on YouTube as well. Other than that, layering sounds is as easy as cake, really. Super duper simple. You have zones, you got your zone button here. So right now it shows you zone 1 is on, and it's the Grand Piano Modern. Let me turn the string down. If I want to change that sound, it's as simple as this. I got Grand Piano Studio now. Rock piano, concert piano. Let me go back to Grand Piano Modern. Then all I got to do is step my zone up. Zone 2, you see it's bright strings. I want to change that. I can change that sound instantly. Can't really hear that one. It's that simple to change sounds. I may want it to be an electric piano. I just hit that and of course, if I want to save it, it's as easy as hitting right. And then I say whether I'm saving just the tone itself or I'm saving the stage setting. And I just rename it. Of course, I wouldn't name this piano string. I would call it, I don't know, LA piano or something. I don't know. But other than that, that's that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I'm trying to go through my notes here a little bit. I think that's pretty much everything about this board. I think I pretty much covered everything. And once again, like I said, I love it. I simply love it. It's pretty amazing. I use it at church every Sunday and it cuts through, gospel musicians, you know what I mean? It cuts through the mix, it bites, and it's just an amazing board to have. So what I've done is I have taped, I took a piece of Scotch tape and then wrote in permanent marker what my sounds are on each one. And then I put another piece of Scotch tape over it so that I can't rub it off. That way I can easily access all of my sounds. So I already know piano strings is 0, EP string is 1, piano EP synth is 2, piano bell is 4, piano bow is 5, piano skate is 6, new Rhodes with the string. Yep, Herbie Rhodes is 8, and Steve Weinhardt SW Rhodes is 9. I'm sorry. Other than that, that's everything. This has been a tremendously long video, but this is something I wanted to do for a while. This is my take on the Casio PX5S. I absolutely love it. I would recommend this for any musician, traveling musician that has to, take your instruments and your gear. If your pastor has to preach, you have to go to another church. Take it with you. Like I said, you can carry it in one hand, but slap it in the case, put your pedal and your power cable in there. You can literally strap this on your shoulder and never have to touch it. It's not heavy. You don't grunt when you lift it. It doesn't hurt to lift it. It's about as heavy as any 61 key keyboard. Maybe just a smidget key, but still, you can lift it with no problems. Also, one thing I didn't cover is over here on this side, there's a little rubber-like finish. So this is where I keep putting my phone. And at my church, this is where my drum machine sits. I have a Kai XR20. So it sits here and it grips it. So it hangs over the keys just a little bit, but I'm able to control it right here. Another thing too, if I was to unscrew this thing takes batteries. Now, I mean, that's a nice feature, I'm sure, for some, but me, myself, I don't necessarily see myself having to use batteries. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 AA batteries, it looks like. I mean, I'm sure that's a cool feature for some, you know, you never know. May have to play out somewhere and all the power cables and everything's taken up. You may want to be in the car. You may want to practice, maybe going out of town and on the way to a gig or something. And you throw some headphones on, and I guess that's a plus side to it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. One more thing, I just realized that I don't really care for the knobs and the volume knob. Casio did not really make it really clear. You can't really see the line in these knobs. They're black. So what I had to do was put a piece of white tape on mine and draw a line so I can always see, like on my volume, for instance, I can always see where I am, see how loud I am. Otherwise, you know, when you're in church, you got other keyboards stacked on top, you cannot see. You can't tell if somebody messed with your EQ, and then when you go to play it, it's all out of whack, you know. So for that reason, I was able to put just a little masking tape and draw the lines. That way, in those light settings in church, you know, I can see. I love this board, amazing board. I would buy another one. Now, the truth is, I actually bought this one thinking I was gonna give it to my son, who plays keyboard and piano. He travels a lot now and goes from church to church, you know, different programs and concerts. I thought I was getting this for him until I played it, so sorry, son, gonna have to get your own. But no, I love it, and I definitely recommend to all of my church musicians, check this board out. I know it says Casio. I keep a piece of tape on mine, not really to cover Casio necessarily, but you know, I know a lot of us just, it's kind of like with shoes and stuff. Some of us wear Jordans just because that's the end thing. It kind of makes you feel validated. It makes you feel like you're legit. So that's why I think a lot of people, at least a lot of my friends, that's why they go and jump on motifs and montages. Honestly, I don't know anybody with a montage because they're so expensive. I think I know one person with a Chronos, personally. But everybody wants to jump on motifs because that's what you see everybody with. So it makes you feel like that's what you're supposed to have. But in my case, I'm not that type of person. I feel like I want what works well for me. And in my type of church setting, when I'm holding a chord and I change my sound, my Yamaha's cut off as much as I love them. This here does not. I'm able to switch sounds smoothly, keep with the flow of worship and the praise setting. And I absolutely love it. So yeah. Casio PX5S, this is Levi 2 King, once again, coming from Me2 Music City Studios here in Cahokia, Illinois, in the St. Louis area, and I approve this message.